If you're an online fitness coach and you found it difficult to get prospects who've inquired about your coaching from the DMs onto a sales call, then I have got the perfect video for you. Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name is Ollie Carson and I have built 2 successful online coaching businesses to multiple 6 figures per year. And now I help other coaches just like me do exactly the same. And in this video today, I'm going to show you the exact DM sales script that I use to effectively get prospects from my DM conversations onto a sales call. Now, this is a ever-growing challenge. You may have even experienced this yourself. You get somebody who inquires about coaching with you in the DMs, you start having a bit of a conversation with them, and before you know it, they have ghosted you. They've completely disappeared off the face of the planet. And so I'm going to show you step by step the exact way to handle this conversation in the DMs so that you drastically increase the likelihood of having that prospect book in a call with you. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the iPad and I'm going to take you through this step-by-step process. So before we even talk about any of the DMs themselves, I actually want to show you a couple of systems that I think you should use to make this process not only more efficient, but more effective as well. The first system that I want to show you is what we call Boards. Now, Boards is an absolutely game-changing app. You won't even just use it for this DM sales sequence. You'll use it in so many areas of your business once you get to grips with it. But essentially what Boards is, it's a platform where you can pre-script message sequences or template messages that you would typically send in different situations. You click one button and it populates that message immediately. So similar to the quick replies function in Instagram, the difference being is that you can use Boards in any platform where your phone has a keyboard available. So you can use this for emails, you can use this for client check-ins or checking up on clients, you can use this for responding to clients, you can have it for so many different situations. So I really recommend downloading the Boards app. It makes your workflow just super easy and saves you a lot of time in the DMs as well. Also, the thing that I love about using a platform like Boards or using quick replies is once you prove a concept, you prove a messaging sequence that works at getting prospects from the DMs onto a sales call, you should rinse and repeat it until it stops working. Now, obviously you might tweak these messages ever so slightly from person to person based on the answers that they're giving you in the chat, but generally speaking, you want to keep as close to your framework that is proven to work as you possibly can. So the next piece of software, most of you will have probably heard of this one, and that is Calendly. And we're going to be using Calendly to actually allow the person to book in the call with you rather than manually sending them times and dates that you've got available. You send them a nice link and they can choose a time on a calendar that works for them. So let's look at the initial contact. I want you to imagine now that you've had somebody reach out and inquire about coaching with you in the DMs. They've sent you a message or they've replied to a call to action or something along those lines. The first message that we're going to send on the initial contact is, "Hey name, thanks for showing interest in coaching." And then the second message will be, "Would it be okay to ask a few quick questions and then I can explain all of the next steps?" So the first thing that we're doing is we're getting permission. We're opening the dialogue. We're getting permission to ask them some questions before you explain all of the next steps to your coaching process. They'll typically respond with something along the lines of, "Sure man, fire away," or "Yep, that's absolutely cool." Now, something that I really like to do at this point, and this seems kind of nonsensical, but is just send like an entertaining GIF. And the reason that I like to do that is it kind of breaks the ice. It adds a little bit of humor into the conversation straight out of the gate. And also, when you think about how you communicate with your friends on social media, you will use things like GIFs and stickers and emojis. And so you should try and replicate that when you're speaking with your prospects as well. It's not that we're trying to not be professional, but we're trying to kind of break down barriers. We're trying to get this person to feel comfortable communicating with you and ultimately comfortable with booking in a call with you. So we can do that by communicating with them as though you are friends in a way that they understand. So the next set of questions are what I call the gap questions. Now, what we're trying to do in this part of the conversation is stretch the gap from where they are to where they want to be. And what this is going to do, it's going to help us to, again, increase the chances of them booking in that call because they'll come away from the conversation feeling like they need this, they need the coaching. So we're just going to respond and we're going to say, "Amazing, thank you," because remember, they've just said, "Yep, that's fine, fire away." So we're going to say, "Amazing, thank you." And we're going to ask our first question. And the first question is what I call the aspiration question. So it might read something like this. What is the big goal you'd like to achieve from online coaching? Like, what is the big thing you are trying to set out to accomplish? We want to get them thinking big first. We want them to think about the amazing things they want to achieve before we start talking about their pain points and barriers. And then the second question that we can send straight out of the gate is, What are the 2 to 3 main barriers preventing you from achieving them on your own? Okay. And the key words here is preventing you from achieving them on your own. Now, these are the things that we'll dig into once they give us a response. So let's just assume that this person has come back to us and they've given us a response along the lines of, I want to get shredded for my trip to Ibiza with the boys. I fuck up my diet every weekend and I'm not pushing myself in the gym. That might be a typical response. Maybe that's not your demographic of client. Maybe that's not a typical response for you. But let's just roll with this for this scenario. This next message is basically the parrot message. Okay. You can think of it as just repeating back in your own way, in your own language, okay, using your own terminology. The point of this message and the response to this message is to show the prospect that you've read what they've said, you've understood it, and you can articulate it in your own way. So I would just say, got you, man. A lot of my clients come to me unable to stick to their diet at the weekends. I've got great strategies to overcome that. Okay, I might also add in, and as for not pushing yourself in the gym, I'll hold you to the highest level of accountability and I'll make sure you're pushing hard in every training session. Okay, but essentially I'm just confirming to this prospect that the challenges that they're facing, we've got the solution. Okay, just a bit of a point on this. If they gave you challenges that you felt like you couldn't help overcome, or they had goals that you couldn't help them achieve, let's say someone said, oh, I want to run an Ironman, a full distance Ironman in 2 weeks time, but I've got no triathlon experience, and you're not a triathlon coach, well then obviously you come back and you say, look, I'm not the coach for you, right? You only respond ethically and honestly if you can genuinely help the person. I thought I would just mention that. So the next questions are what I call qualifying questions. And these are critically important, these qualifying questions. And this is where most coaches get their DM conversations wrong and why clients end up ghosting them. Because ultimately, the power is in the prospect's hands. You know, they've approached you for coaching, but really the kind of situation is such that you need them, they don't need you, or at least that's how they feel, okay? Like they hold the power keys because they are ultimately going to potentially pay you and you need their money. So we want to reverse that by asking them some qualifying questions, which is going to make the prospect feel as though they need you, you don't need them, and they need to apply to work with you, not the other way around. Okay, so the first question that I like to ask here as part of my qualifying process is, if we work together, do you feel like you'd be able to commit at least 3 hours a week to follow a plan that I handcraft for you? Okay, so can you commit 3 hours or more a week, essentially? So it's a time qualifying question. The second qualifying question I like to ask is also, are you financially and psychologically ready to invest in yourself to achieve this goal? Okay, so immediately, we're changing the power dynamics, okay? We're going from, I need you and your money as a client, to, are you a good fit for me and my coaching program? Are you ready psychologically to invest in yourself? Are you able to commit to me 3 hours or more a week? Okay, so we're changing the power dynamic subconsciously as this conversation goes on. So they might respond with something along the lines of, 100% dude, I can't go away looking like this, I need to make it happen. And yeah, 3 hours a week is easy. Perfect. Okay, so we've got confirmation from that prospect that they can commit to those qualifying questions. Then we wrap this up really with a booking message. This is now where we can go in and propose the call, not a minute before. So I would just say something like, awesome name, look, I'd love to work with you. Next step is for me to book in a thorough consultation with you so I can explain in detail how everything works. I'll put my calendar below. Let me know when you found a slot that works, okay? And then you put your Calendly link below there in the chat. Now it's really important, this last bit of the chat here, let me know when you've booked in a slot. You can even create some urgency here so people don't kick the can down the road and delay booking in. You can say something like, I've got a meeting shortly, but I'll leave my DMs open for the next 2 minutes. Let me know when you've managed to book in, okay? You can add some urgency in if you feel like that's a point where you often get stuck or, you know, prospects kick the can down the road, as I said. And then we've got the confirmation chat. Okay, so they booked in, obviously they're going to come back and say something to the effect of, done, that's me booked in for Tuesday at 11, or yep, that's me all booked in. And you're just going to reply and say, great, can't wait to catch up. If there's anything I can help with ahead of the call, please just drop me a line in here, happy to help. And then again, we've put another sort of entertaining GIF in here, just to lighten the mood, keep the chat nice and friendly and relaxed. You know, it's a small thing, but it goes a really long way. Now, a couple of tips, or just one big tip to make this process work even better is redirecting your booking link. Okay, so on Calendly, you can go into the settings of your booking link and you can have it so that when somebody books in a call with you, it redirects to a URL of your choice. And what we've had created and what we recommend our clients have created is like a kind of what happens next page. And this is just a really simple landing page. You might have a video on that page at the top that gets people excited for the call. We want to get people to feel like the call that they've just booked in is valuable itself, okay? It's not necessarily just the coaching that's valuable. The call that they're about to have with you in and of itself is valuable, so we want to get people excited for that. And we also want to litter this page with lots of social proof, video testimonials, before and after images, written testimonials, all of that good stuff. Again, it all just feeds into giving people that warm, fuzzy feeling. Something I talk about a lot, okay, is giving that prospect a warm, fuzzy feeling that they've made a good decision and not to back out of it. Okay. Something else worth mentioning as well that I haven't actually included in this document, but I'm going to write it now, is make sure that you set up your reminders. Okay. And I recommend having reminders for 24 hours before via email. Okay. And 1 hour before via text, which you can set up through Calendly. So 1 hour before the booking, they get a text reminder saying, hey, you've got a discovery call booked in with Ollie in 1 hour's time. Okay, and it gives them the links to the Zoom call or the phone call, however you're going to deliver that sales conversation. So I will do a separate video talking about the sales process in detail, but I wanted to make this video because I think it's equally as important and it's something that coaches are struggling with right now. It's just getting people from the DM chat into the call booking in the first place. That is something that guys and girls are struggling with. So hopefully this video has been useful for you. I'm gonna link up some videos on here that you might also find useful. So go and check that one out. And of course, if you are a personal trainer or an online fitness coach who wants more direct one-to-one support in growing your coaching business this year, then just follow the links in the description, fill in a short application form, and myself and my team will be in contact very shortly to explain all of the next steps. Peace and love, team. Speak to you soon, champs.